Okay, Dr. RJB here, and this video is about the question that I've gotten in my practice before is, why can't I lose weight? I'm trying to diet, I'm trying to exercise, and nothing's happening. So the question is, what's going on here? Why do some people have a hard time losing weight? Um, there's a couple of factors here that I wanted to discuss. One is usually this was somebody who is middle age. And, in middle age, we have a tendency to kind of slow down. And I've mentioned before in my lecture on sarcopenia that people lose muscle mass as they get older. Now, muscle is the part of the body that burns the calories. You have, besides all your organs and bones, you have muscle and then you have fat. Fat does not burn a lot of calories. Fat is there for storage of calories. So it's not going to be burning a whole lot of calories because that's not its job. Muscle, on the other hand, definitely burns calories. Its job is to move you around, and to do that, it needs energy. We basically take sugar that we eat or foods that we eat, drive it into the muscle cells, and you burn it to make energy so that the muscles can move. So muscles burn energy. Um, no matter what you're doing all day long, you're burning a little bit of energy. If you don't have a lot of muscle, you're not burning as much calories. So one of the problems with difficulty losing weight is getting older, losing some muscle mass, and now you don't burn as many calories per day because you have less muscle. It basically is kind of like if you're 200 pounds and you're all muscle, you're burning a ton of calories. If you're 200 pounds and you're 100 pounds of fat, not so many calories burned. Okay, so when you're in this stage where you got a lot of muscle, it's a lot easier to maintain your weight. So I've told people start doing some weight training. You do the weight training, you build up your muscle mass, and that's going to help you to burn calories. Uh, Now, I mentioned in the lecture on sarcopenia that is actually the only proven way of getting more muscle mass. The other exercises really don't work. Unfortunately, I'm a runner, and unfortunately, running does not put muscle on. You get some muscle because you're using your legs and stuff like that, but it doesn't really help as much for sarcopenia. The only proven way is actually to do weight training. So do the weight training to do that. Now, of course, you can do body weight exercise to build. So the calisthenics like push-ups and sit-ups and burpees and things like that, yeah, they're going to put on muscle because you're using your body weight instead of the barbell weight or the dumbbell weight. Now, the other thing with it is the problem of, the hormones. If you're a diabetic and your insulin is all out of whack and your sugar is all out of whack, hard to lose weight. So diabetics definitely have a trouble sometimes. Get your blood sugar under control first, and that'll make it easier for you to lose weight. Uh, Another unfortunate thing is when somebody weighs a real lot of weight. Um, Now, I think everybody knows the skinny guy who can eat all he wants and never gain an ounce. Um, uh, we actually have somebody in our neighborhood is like that. They're tall and they're skinny, and it looks like they've never put a pound on. You probably have some friends who are like that. When I was in high school, I was about 6 foot tall, and I only weighed 150 pounds. Man, I could eat whatever I wanted at that point. I wasn't going to put on weight. Um, one year, I decided that I was too skinny, so I started like doubling the amount that I was eating, um, and eventually, I put on about 20 pounds of fat. It certainly wasn't muscle because I had this big butt all of a sudden. Because I wasn't exercising, I was sitting in class all day long, so I got a big butt. Um, the problem with all that extra fat is that fat is an insulator. Um, So when somebody gets up really high in the weight, let's say they're 280, 300 pounds, all that fat acts as an insulator and it keeps you warm. You may have remembered one of the lectures where I talked to you about the fact that 75% of the calories go to keeping us warm at 98.6 degrees. Well, if you have a lot of fat and that's an insulator, you don't have to work so hard. So you don't have to eat as many calories when you're that heavy. Um, uh, Again, if you don't have a lot of muscle mass and you got a lot of fat mass, muscle is a conductor of heat. Fat is an insulator of heat. So the more fat that you have, the more you get. Now, if you're 300 pounds and you have 300 pounds of all muscle, well, good for you. I mean, you're probably not going to be too worried about how much you eat. Because with all that muscle, you're probably burning a lot of calories. But unfortunate, not many of us are built like Shaquille O'Neal, where they're 7 foot tall and about 300 pounds. Most of us are like somebody else who's like maybe 5 foot tall and 300 pounds, and they're looking like a bowling ball. When you have a lot of weight, a lot of fat, I should say, it's an insulator. It makes it kind of hard because you're not burning as many calories when you have all that fat on your body. So, you got to work a little bit harder when you do that. So you got to add more exercise. You got to diet better, eat better food. Lots of fruits and vegetables in your diet. Better to eat fruits and vegetables than eat junk food. Um, so there it's it. These are a few pointers on what you can do when you're having trouble losing weight. All right, take care, guys.